Okay, freer you can become. One of your most talked about clips that I've seen of you is when you talk about the clairs.
Okay.
And you talk about being clairvoyant and claircognizant. You talk about all these different layers, and you even explain your own gifting, your mother's gifting and grandmother. I want you to lean into that.
Okay, so I mean that really ties into what I was just talking about too when it relates to intuition, because your clairs are basically the ways in which you intuit, or like back if you want to go back to the church ways, the way in which you discern, right? The spirit of discernment. But there's different ways in which to explain your discernment. So there's the most popular one is clairvoyance. But clairvoyance means clear seeing. So you're able to see beyond the realm. Like you get visions, you get dreams, you get these knowings. It's like we can be having a conversation right now, and as I'm talking, you might be seeing a clip. Like you're having almost like a clip go through your head. That's clairvoyance. So spirit speaks to you. The Holy Spirit, divine spirit, whatever, like comes to you through visions. Sometimes when my mom is extremely clairvoyant, and so I could be talking to her and she'll have to pause and she'll be like, I'm seeing da 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 da, or she might be like, you know what, I think you might need to reach out to your niece because I'm just seeing this clip of somebody grabbing up on her or whatever, and it's usually not far off. It's not. So, and then you have clairaudience, and clairaudience is one of my potent clairs, and a lot of times people ask, you have access to all the clairs. They're associated to your senses. But there's the supernatural aspect of your senses. But most people have more dominant clairs than the other. So clairaudience is being able to hear on a supernatural level. Sometimes I'm hearing sounds that no one else can hear in the space. I could be on the phone sometimes and I can hear like the static and the chatter of things that no one else is hearing, conversations. When someone is having a conversation with me, I can tell if they're being honest or not just by the tone and the vibration of their voice. I can also hear everything that they're not saying through the tone and the vibration of their voice. And it also makes you most clairaudient. People are gifted musicians, or they're good at hearing pitch, or hearing the sounds of things, and it's all related to that. I also can tell what's going on with me by the way my voice is sounding. Oh, I can hear sickness. Like, you know what I mean? I can hear infirmities. Then you have, so that's clairvoyance, clairaudient. You have clairsentience. And clairsentience is clear. It is a level of feeling. And it's different than clairempathy, but I usually try to blend them together. Clairsentience is where you can feel physically what's happening with someone. You can be describing, like watching a basketball game and somebody knee bends in or whatever, and you feel that pain, or someone's describing something to you and you can physically feel the pain. Whereas clairempathy, you can feel the emotion that is happening with some people. So most people that say that they're empaths, they are clairsentient and they have clairempathy. And then we have clairgustance, which is a level of tasting. Like you can taste things that are not there. Most of the time when your ancestors want to speak to you or want to come in, you might taste the pie that she will always make, or the banana pudding, or different things like that.
Interesting.
Or when you're eating something, sometimes you might get information just from the taste of things. And clairgustance isn't one of my strong ones, but I know a lot of people are. And usually, like chefs are clairgustance.
I was literally thinking, I'm a Food Network girly, so I was like, oh, people who do food tastings.
Yes, they're clairgustance. Yeah. Like you can get so much information and intuitive hints from that. And then you have clairalience, which is the clear smelling. You smell things that other people aren't smelling. You can smell. It's beyond body odor, right? It's the odor of the spirit you can sense and smell. I can tell when someone is walking around with an entity. When someone's, people that seen sinners and they're like, oh, it's the Hanks and all that. I can smell when someone's spirit is sunken and something else is taking over. And like,
what does that smell like for you?
It's different smells. Because it's different types of entities or different things people are dealing with. It could be foul, like something died. Like a gazelle was just killed, and I said gazelle because I smelled it when I was in Africa. They literally killed the gazelle and cooked it, and it was the worst smell ever. But like that, like something's dying or rotting. Yeah, like a person's spirit is rotting. You can sense that. Sometimes even it's like I used to think like, oh, that person's hair, but once I got later, I was like, no, that was their spirit. Like I can smell that, so I can smell If something comes in the room and I'm like, y'all smell that, nobody else smells it, it's like, okay. Like, I'm getting information. And again, this goes back to the stillness. When this stuff comes, you're getting information, but are you being still enough to hear or get the messages for what the information is? Some people just smell it and ignore it, or have a vision and ignore it, or hear something and ignore it. I've learned when I hear that high-pitched noise to just pause for a second, or to pay attention to my surroundings, because there's something for me to notice or to remember. I remember specifically during one of my son's birthday parties, this girl said something to me. She was like, no, I noticed. I was like, where did such and such go? And it was like, oh, she went to go get her son's shoes. But she had already gotten her son's shoes. But it was the way in which that was said. It was like a message for me to go back to that. Later, I ended up realizing something like my son's piggy bank was stolen. And I was able to attach that because of the way in which that sounded. The hint was to pay attention, to notice the way you just felt in your body when that was said. So that was my clairaudience and my clairsentience, because the feeling in my body that gave me the information. I knew exactly who it was that stole the money from the piggy bank because it was missing. So that's how the intuitive hints can work. So there's clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairempathy, clairalience, clairgustance, claircognizant is the other one. And this is the one that people actually mix up with clairvoyance. This is the one that you would think is like the Miss Cleo or whatever, because it's a knowing. And you don't know how you know, but you just know. And these people that have like the gift of gab or like good salesmen, they are very clairvoyant, because you just have these downloads that come into your mind and you're like, I need to call Claire, right? Or I need to call Sarah, and I don't know why, but I need to call her. How you been? Is everything good with what? You know what I mean? And as soon as they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you just called me in this moment because I'm going through this. Or you have this hit to just tell someone something. A lot of prophetess and priestess that are in churches, and they like, something comes to them and they talk to them and they're like, God put it on my spirit to tell you this. It's claircognizance. Yeah. It's that clear knowing. And I feel like I went through all the clairs in that way, but that's how it works for me. And so if I'm reading a person's energy, or I'm working with a client, or I'm working as a doula, I have these knowings of what they need, what herbs to give them, and things like that, just because of I'm very in tune with my energy. I'm in tune with the clairs. So I'm in tune with what spirit is trying to communicate with me. And this is what our ancestors have been doing. And so this is what made them great healers and doulas and midwives and all the things that we didn't even call them that at those times. But you know what I mean? This is what makes them so powerful, is because they're tapped in. They take their moment to breathe. They take their moment to go walk around and tend to the land. They take their moment to sit with their tea and ring their bell and, pour libations. Like, they take their moment before interacting with the rest of the world. In that space is what gives them the space to hear.
Ashley. Oh my, look at the praise hands. Girl, the praise, when the praises go up, okay?
Yeah.
Girl, this is how I know. And I give people this because I meditate, I take my time. Quiet time is so essential for everything in my life, right? I've done silent meditation retreat. But I tell people all the time, when Jesus performed a miracle in the Bible, what did he always do? He went to go be by himself.
Yeah.
He went to the garden. Yeah. He went to pray. He went to the mountain. He went to be by himself.
Yes.
You can go look at every miracle that Christ performed in the New Testament. Every time, for feeding the 5,000 with the 2 fish and the 5 loaves, as you brought up earlier. Yeah. He went to go be alone in the garden. Right before he was going to go fulfill his highest purpose-driven moment to get on that cross. He went to go be in the Garden of Gethsemane, right? To be by himself. We spend so much time fighting and running from ourselves.